Hey guys. Hello. I'll send a message in Discord because I did not make the proper live event to sign up for this time. Guess I can get ready too by opening up December 8th on both of these. These are diaries from 1903 that we're reading through. This is... Huh. Oh, okay, that's why. Hey, Holly. How's everyone doing? We're already in December of this diary. We're almost done. Hey, Becky. After these two, we have 2 more of Ralph's diaries to read through. And pretty soon, on December 23rd, they will be getting married, so we'll get to read that. Yeah, it was a snow day. It was like it coming down pretty heavy. It didn't really stick much, so a lot of people think we shouldn't have had a snow day, but it was nice to have the day off. And it definitely would have been not a fun commute home, so I'm glad I was here. It's just one of those things. The storm was timed to be just all during the day and would have impacted getting the kids home, us getting home. But I'm lucky because I would have had to stay late for a meeting, but that was moved online because of the snow day. Yes, Penny, that's hilarious that you remember that. Yep, it would be my morning duty. And you know what? I didn't even think about that. That would have been awful. Thursdays is my morning car line duty where I have to stand outside. And if I had to stand outside in the snow or the freezing rain, I would not be happy. You guys are funny. I'm going to give everyone another minute because I didn't make the same type of live event. I had switched it. I didn't have one, I realized. Then I made it for 7 o'clock because of that meeting. And then I switched it back, so there's no one coming in from the live event sign up. So hopefully the word spread on Discord. Hey, Valentina. I'm glad you're here. So I just basically spent all day on Animal Crossing. It was nice. Work's been very stressful lately, so it was nice to get a day off and just, like, rot on Animal Crossing. Hey, Maria. Alright, I guess I'll get started. We've got some of our diary detectives here. Oh, thanks for the follow, Blanca. You should also follow me on YouTube, because TikTok is unstable at the moment. We don't know how long it's going to stay back. Oh, yes, birthday, diary birthday, 12/12. You might have to remind me, but I'm writing it down. You'll get a special happy diary birthday. Hey, Nikki. Yeah, follow me on YouTube, too, just in case, because that's where... I also stream there anyways, but that's where I will be moving if we have to get out of here. Okay, I need to open up December 8th for Georgia. Okay. You haven't missed that much, Heather. Oh, maybe you have. I don't know when the last time you were here was. Last week I wasn't on, though. I did not come on last week. And thank you to the few of you who messaged me and were wondering, like, oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it? So thanks for reaching out. That means a lot that you are excited to be here. And I'm sorry if you got worried. I canceled it, like, last minute. But I'm on today, and we're going to keep going with December. Actually, I wanted to ask before I go, how is the setup on the screen of, like, where my face is and where the words are? Because last time people were saying that it was, like, cut off or something. Like, is it okay, or should I can make myself smaller? It looks good? Okay, just want to check. All right, December 8th. This is Georgia's diary. Got up at 7. helped with dishes, and then with washing. Oh, okay, so that was October-ish. So Heather, if you want to, all of the pages of the diary that we've read so far, I've stopped adding pictures. I need to go back and add in my pictures, but they are on my website. So if you go to www.thingslostandfound.com, I have all of that up there if you want to catch up. Last week, or the week before, because last week I didn't go live, the week before, if you guys missed that one, you should watch it, because I think it was about, oh, I have to figure out how many minutes in. I think it was like 50 minutes in. I don't know if she's here today, but Handwriting Nancy, a TikTok user, came on and was analyzing the handwriting of all of the diaries that we've read, and it was really cool. It was awesome. It was like she was a fortune teller, it seemed like. And that was really cool. So that would be the last video on my YouTube, the last live stream. Actually, I can like look at what I think. Well, this one's 30. What is this one? I just named it and I forget. Hold on. This is 37, so it would be live reading 36. That would be the one that Nancy came on to. And hopefully she'll come back, because that was really cool. Alright, help with dinner and then with washing. And also I'm going to ask her to join us with the Patreon meeting, too. I have to be on top of that now. Getting that scheduled, but I'm going to reach out to her and invite her. Okay, helped with dinner and dishes. Wrote a letter. Went downtown. Helped with supper and dishes. Worked on handkerchiefs in evening. Okay, where I'm writing is cut off. Okay, I can move it. I could make it smaller. Hold on. Is that better or worse? It's like I'm an eye doctor. Better or worse? 1 or 2? Worked on handkerchiefs in evening. Okay. I can also make my face smaller if my face is too big. Last week I messed with it a little bit because something happened when I did the multi-guest. Something changed, or I must have bumped something and I had to like move things around. So let me know if you need more adjustments. Went to bed at 10:30. All right. I have evening written twice. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Ralph. So we left off, I was confused when I was opening this up because December 7th is this top part, and then December 8th he circled and put it here. So this is December 8th. Stayed at AIT, that's where he works, till 5, and had talk with Professor Phillips. Ralph has been having problems at work. His students complained about him. He's a recent college grad and now a professor, so I think he's just doesn't have the experience, or he said the way he taught, like they complained about him. So he's been down in the dumps about that. Talk with Professor Phillips. Something to see the dean. He advised me. To see the dean. That the students were something on me and I had better resign. Oh no. What does that say? I would have hated Rate My Professor, I know. Hurting? Yeah, I think that might be what it says, hurting on me. That's stupid. Blue all evening. To bed at 11:30. Aww. Alright, December 9th. Oh, someone asked where we got these diaries. These were donated to us. I've done a few different projects. Some of them I got on eBay. I've gotten one at an estate sale. This one was donated. This set of 6 of them, actually. I was thinking it might be hating on me, but I don't know if that would be a term in 1903. I don't know. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. It looks like HU. But I don't actually... no, I don't actually see another... There's U. I don't necessarily see an R there. Is it bad that I hoped he made the students hurt when he became mayor? Yeah. Doesn't sound like a term that would be used. Yeah, they were hating on me. It could be hunting. I don't know. I think I'll just leave hurting. I don't know. For now, I will. Snowy day. Got up at 7. Helped with ironing nearly all morning. Helped with dinner and dishes. Helped sew all PM. Helped with supper and dishes. Wrote all evening. Went to bed at 10:30. Let's see what happened the next day. Oh, this is a long entry. Okay. December 9th. Okay, I'm wondering if that top part is adding on to the bottom, but I'm still just gonna write it here. Wrote all evening, but none in the diary. Yeah, that's true. It's funny. Inexperience in teaching, my trouble. So he was just a student, so I guess maybe he hasn't been a teacher long enough, and that's why he's having a hard time. Got up at 7, but everyone has to start somewhere. They shouldn't let the students boss them around. Went to AIT at 8:30 and had talk with Professor Raymond and Professor Morin. I can't remember if we've seen that name before, which was discouraging, to say the least. They prophesied or professed? I don't know. Trouble something. Best? I don't know. Trouble something. Oh, if I stayed. They prophesied or prophesied. I don't know how you would say that. Yeah, trouble if I stayed. And advised me to resign at once. Jeez, how bad is this? Like, to say I left blue was putting it mild. Something, mild. Something, with my wedding day 2 weeks off. Oh my God, Ralph. Oh, I'm so sad. I don't know what he did. It seemed like the students were complaining about him like he wasn't being an effective teacher, but we don't actually know what that means. I don't know. Maybe they see him as competition. I'm not sure. they gave him the job. Like, they must have seen something in him that I don't understand. Like, not even trying to help him improve. He's a new teacher. Went downtown and looked around till 2. And came back and stayed at AIT till 5. Had another talk with Professor Phillips. Not much encouragement. Wrote the folks and Georgia. Oh, that is sad. Poor Ralph. Got up at 7. Helped with dishes and ironed some. Mended. Helped with dinner and dishes. Sewed on my handkerchief a while. Yeah, actually, yes, I think she did. Nikki is talking about the last live stream that I did when Nancy came on to analyze the handwriting. She did say that he was, like, very anxious. Or that's what she could see from his handwriting. And he was going through, like, a turmoil. I'm fairly new here, but it appears he doesn't even know himself why. Yeah, I know. Had the blues. Oh, and this is Georgia. Georgia has the blues. It's so bad that I did not go do much. In PM. Went downtown. Helped with supper and dishes. Went down with Lizzie. I don't know who that is. And Miss Fort a while. Played a game of Pit. And that's also Flinch went to bed at 10. Yeah, I think so. I think she also brought up that both of them were going through like a massive change in their life, which is true. They're getting married and they're about to, like, she's about to move away with him and stuff. But yeah, maybe she was picking up on some of that other stuff too, because Georgia hadn't said, I don't think she mentioned feeling upset until then. But I'm sure it's like Ralph's stuff and maybe things on her side too, but I'm sure she's reading about what he's going through. Let's see. I've missed so much since last caught alive. Their wedding is, yeah, so he proposed in October. And the wedding is December 23rd. So I don't know if we'll get to it today, but if we don't get to it today, it will definitely be next week. Usual 9:30 class. Well, the diaries physically they were donated to me by someone from Iowa who had them. He got them at an estate sale, and the actual people writing the diaries are from Waterloo, Iowa. Usual 9:30 class. Looked for a letter. From Georgia. Which, can't type, my fingers are so cold down here, which should have been here yesterday. It came at 4:30. Studied till 2 and went to AIT. Then went downtown to look around for a job. Oh. Not much doing, but had something I don't know what that says, in spring. Several something promises. Had several promises of work in spring. Got back at 6:30 after supper, studied till 11. Could not sleep much for thinking about the whole deal. Ugh, that sucks. It's like bringing him down when he should be just excited about his wedding. Okay. I don't know if he ended up finding an apartment, but now he just found out that he is being asked to resign from his job. So he's looking for work now. I don't know. Did he end up finding one? I forget. I actually think he might have. Hold on. Yeah, he did. He rented an apartment and he deposited $3. I am just typing into Google Docs. I just made the background black so it was less ugly. No, only Ralph has his 1904 diary. I think she probably did still write one, but we just don't have it. We have his 1904 and 1906 after this. I wish we had more of Georgia's. But Ralph is fun to read too. Usually. Poor Ralph's going through a time right now though. Got up at 7:15. Helped with dishes and other work. We looked it up. Isabel said, I wonder how much those $3 would be. We looked it up, but I forget. About $107, which isn't much to put down on an apartment. Do you think through genealogy that photographs of him could be found? Yes, we do have pictures of Ralph. I should show those more often because I forget that there's always new people coming in. A lot of people who are in here come every week, so they know, but I should show it more. These are all pictures of Ralph that we found. We have not found pictures of Georgia yet, though, which is upsetting to a lot of us because we all want to know what Georgia looked like. This is Ralph at around the time, this is the same year, actually, as this diary. So he looks very young, but he's 22. And this is him older. That he was a mayor. He was the mayor of Waterloo later on in life. So these pictures are from when he was mayor. And then that's him like middle-aged. Oh yeah, there are quite a few people on here. That's good. I was worried because I didn't have the correct settings. I did make a live event for next week though, so you can sign up for that if you want. No, he's not related to me. This set of diaries was just donated to me because I like to do this for fun. And someone commented, Charlotte said, I inherited my mom's aunt's diaries from when she was 12 to age 93. That's crazy. Yeah, you should transcribe them. Yes. I hope we can see more happiness from Ralph in the next diaries. It's so sad to hear about his job. I know. I'm like really feeling it reading this too because right now my job is like in turmoil too. Like it's like crazy that you can read something from 1903 and like actually relate to it. And it really makes the whole thing so much more interesting. It's like these people were humans, and even in 1903 everybody struggles, everybody has like, you know, it's sad, but it also like helps a little bit. It's like inheriting an entire life. Yes, it is very precious, Charlotte. And you should, when you transcribe it, you're preserving the legibility like you said, but also you'll learn a lot about her, and there'll probably be things that come up more than once, and then you can search through your transcription to go find those patterns and figure out, like, put pieces together. And then you always have a digital copy too, no matter what happens to the physical diary. So I'm definitely pro taking the time to transcribe it. All right, obviously, because that's what I do on here. But and if you need any help, I have a Patreon group, and that's what we do. So if you need help researching or you want to have help transcribing, I've got like 20 people on there who are chomping at the bit to help with projects like that. So, all right, got up at 7:15. Thanks, Nikki, for pinning that comment. Helped with dishes and other work. Played piano a while. Went up to Grandpa's for Auntie's glasses. Okay, cloudy, but not very cold. Got dinner and done dishes. Sewed a while. Went downtown, helped get supper and do dishes. Sewed an evening, went to bed at 10. Okay. Ralph. December 11th. Went to 8:30 class. Came home and studied till 1. Went to AIT after lunch. Getting letters from folks and Georgia. Oh, hold on. I want to make sure I can see my YouTube chat just in case. Okay. Still, no, still something. Oh, yeah, still so blue. I can barely think. Georgia. Hi, Grandma. And Georgia's letter did not help me much. He probably misses her. Decided if Georgia is willing. Wait, what? If Georgia is willing to be married anyhow. Does that say decided? I didn't really even think of that might affect. I know they do get married, so that's good, but she would have dumped him? That's what he's thinking? Got back from AIT. Yeah. She thinks he might not want to marry him. At 5. Wrote letter to Georgia. He's really, you can tell he's upset because he's like messing up all his words too. Divided if Georgia is willing to be married anyhow. I don't know. It might be divided. It's decided. Yeah, he's definitely feeling not great about himself. Okay, hold on. Where was I? Letter to Georgia. Then after supper, finished it. Ralph found out that he was told from his bosses at the school he teaches at, he's a professor, or an assistant professor, that he should resign. So basically, he lost his job. We don't know what happens with it, but this does, if he does end up leaving there, that makes sense why we couldn't find him in the yearbook for 1903. I thought maybe it was because he was an assistant professor or just part-time, but it's probably because he doesn't make it through the whole year. Got up at 7:10. This is a really lightly written one. Helped with dishes, swept. Yeah, it's very true. Amy said perhaps someone was envious of his position and wanted to take it by pushing him to resign. Yeah. Seems like it came out of nowhere. Helped with dinner and dishes. Cleaned my waist. That's a piece of clothing. Washed out some things. Wrote a while. Went down to PO. Then we went to church, to supper, oyster. We can look that up. Fixed my bags for Christmas. Xmas. Sewed a while and read. Yes, Maria said it has to be so hard being so young and having to teach your peers. I know. Yeah, because it's literally his peers. And maybe that's a whole part of it. Like, they weren't taking him seriously. Because teaching is so much more than just transferring knowledge, you know? It depends a lot on how the students react, and maybe he wasn't getting any respect from them. And then if on top of that, what he's teaching is difficult, because he's obviously a very smart guy. If what he's teaching is difficult, then those kids are more likely to, you know, disrespect him and complain about him. I said it before, but this happened in my college all the time. Holly, it was your diary birthday on the 12th, right? Happy diary birthday. I know. Sad diary birthday. Sorry, you got like the worst one. That's okay. There will be more diary birthdays. Each diary holds a new opportunity. He ends up teaching again in the future. Yes, and he is very successful in the future. So that's nice. That's one thing, like, we know his future and we know it ends up okay for him. So that's good. And we know they get married. Yeah, his uncertainty is, it's all gonna work out. Oh, I said, it looks like it said shiny now. Stormy. Snow. The worst day I have seen in Chicago. Went downtown at 9:30 and looked around for a job and got some Christmas presents. Also got my wedding suit. Oh, he's just in a, like, roller coaster of emotions. Weather too stormy, so... Ooh. Too stormy, so came back to my room at 2:30. December 13th. Got up at 9. Helped with dishes. Isabella said, I love how interesting it is to see his conflicts and insecurities and knowing things turn better. Yes, that is nice. Because in the moment, when you're living your life, it's like, oh, everything will work out probably, but you actually don't know and you can't see the future. But for him, we can see his future and we know he's okay. The worst day ever and the best day ever, a couple weeks apart. I know. It's a lot of ups and downs. Helped with dishes and other work. Plus, he's so far away from Georgia, which is hard. Very cold. 16 below. Jeez, coldest so far this winter. And for all my Celsius friends, we're gonna do the conversion. Okay, negative 16 degrees Fahrenheit is negative 27 degrees Celsius. You're very welcome. Because I know whenever Celsius is mentioned, I'm like, I have no idea. I have no reference point, so I will try to remember to do that because it's important. We need to, yeah, that is crazy cold. That's insane. And in 1903, like, you don't have a space heater you can turn on. Guess you just lit the fire and huddled around. I'm, like, down here suffering, and I don't even know. It's not that cold in the basement. It's not negative 16, that's for sure, but that must have been it. That would hurt, you know? Like, I know. I hope there was a big fireplace and she was just sitting there all day. Poor Hector, the horse. Coldest so far this winter. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay. Sam was here all day. Helped with dinner and dishes. Wrote a letter. Mama and I went down to mail it. How do you like go anywhere when it's negative 16 degrees? I don't have a date yet, Holly, for the next group meeting, but I will have one soon. I have it on my list to do that probably right after I log off. I'll send some dates. I do want to ask, if that's what you're asking. I actually don't know, but I do want to ask Handwriting Nancy if she'll come. So I got to reach out to her too. I'll probably just send her dates too. Went to bed at 10. If anyone sees her pop into the chat, let me know. Because sometimes I miss, like, when people's names pop up. Celsius makes so much more sense than Fahrenheit. Yeah, pretty much everything, like, is Celsius, that's not considered the metric system, right? But, like, countries that use the metric system often also use Celsius. It always makes more sense. Like, the metric system makes so much more sense than whatever. Is it the imperial system? Feet, yards, miles, like, it's... I wish we just used that. Okay. Did I mess up? Hold on. Read a while. Someone asked, Kentucky Proud says, what is going on here? We are reading Diaries from 1903, and we're learning about the people who wrote them, and eventually we'll find descendants to return the diaries to. We've already got someone who will take them, but I'm continuing the search for some of Ralph's relatives too. So we have Georgia, who wrote this one, and Ralph. This is Ralph's handwriting. And they're going to be married. Did I finish hers? They're going to be married in about 2 weeks. Australia is Celsius. Is Australia kilometers, meters, centimeters, or do they do miles? Yards, feet, pounds. Lavender Horse said that's pretty cold for that date in Chicago. Thank you, because I don't know that either. Kilometers, centimeters, yeah. Just makes so much more sense when you're comparing distances or measurements, and you can just divide it by 100 or 10 or 1,000 instead of like 12 inches to a foot, 3 feet to a yard. It's just like, it seems random. Got up at 9. Went to breakfast. Actually, have any of you seen the SNL skit where they're like the founding fathers and they're talking about like, what will this new country use? Yes, actually, Valentina, we're literally talking about the same thing. I love that. What will we use for measuring distances? I can't like think exactly what they said, but they'd be like, oh, well, how much is in a ton? 1,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds will be a ton. So what will they call 1,000 pounds? No one knows. There's not a name for that. It's just so funny. Inches, feet is still a thing as well. Tradespersons still work with the older type of measurement. Okay, I'm pretty sure only the U.S. and Myanmar use imperial measurements. Seriously? Why do we have to be different in Liberia? Why can't we just get with the rest of the world with that one? Went to breakfast, then came back and dressed up. Yeah, and you guys don't do like pints, quarts, gallons, right? Because those are hard to remember too. Like there's a picture you can draw with the P, 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 Q, like you put them inside each other to remember. But again, it's like random. You have to just memorize it. There's no logic. Liters, kilograms. Yeah. Which makes more sense with the, what's the prefixes? Yeah, you teach both. Yeah, and then the other joke on the SNL one is like, but don't worry, rulers will have 2 sides. Inches on one side, centimeters on the other. And someone goes, oh, so we can see where they line up. And he goes, no. They never line up. Aha. 1 liter is the same as a kilogram. I didn't know that. But one is liquid, right? And one is, what would be the word? Not solid, but like mass. Our rulers have that. Yeah, ours have both sides, but they don't line up anywhere. Oh yeah, you have to look it up, Nikki. And you know what? Since you're in the Discord, I'll send it. I'll write myself a note because there's 2 of them actually. They're hilarious. Okay. Got up at 9, went to breakfast, then came back and dressed up and went for the mail. Received letter from Georgia. Answered it and wrote to the folks. Went and called on Effie Allard in afternoon. Spent evening working on my bridge. Wonder what bridge he's talking about. 100 centimeters is a meter. It's also neat and easy over here. I know! And then 1,000 meters in a kilometer. It just makes sense. But ours is like random. Miles, acres. What's like, is there even a distance bigger than a mile? Like there's nothing for 10 miles or there's no other word. It's just miles. Right? Acres is area. Distance is just a hectare. Yeah, what's hectares? I remember that, but what is that? That's area too. I remember learning about that in school, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, Effie is a sweet name. I'm gonna write down Effie Allard because I think Georgia has mentioned Effie, the name, before. Maybe it's another person, but we haven't gotten a full name, so. Yes, thank you. I mean, we could keep going. Also, how is 212 boiling? I know. Thank you, because, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. 100, boiling, 0, freezing. Instead, it's 32 and 212. 10K, 5K. Yes, but that's kilometers, right? Yeah. And I know, me neither. Whenever people run, they do a 5K. And it's like, I have no idea. It's like a little over 3 miles, I think, but I only know that because I memorized it. Like, there's no conversion. It makes no sense. But to change it all now, it'd just be too much. The UK is miles per hour, and we measure in centimeters as well. I think I need a math lesson. Yeah, there's kilometers per hour, miles per hour. When we went to Portugal, it was kilometers, so we like didn't ever know how fast we were going. Yes, okay, hectares are like acreage, yes. But are they bigger or smaller than acres? I think they're bigger. I know, flashback to math. I remember thinking like centiliters, the concept of it was so confusing to me because I didn't know like I couldn't picture it. But now when you think about it, it just makes so much more sense. Having the unit and having a prefix for showing how much of the unit, it just makes sense. 1 hectare is about 2.4 acres. Yeah, what are we doing with this about? Like but it's 10,000 square meters. That's so much more like simple. Yes, you can read previous entries on, I love your username, Bread. You can read it on my website. So if you go to my link tree and click on my website, it will bring you to my www.thingslostandfound.com website. And if you click on Slippy Diaries, these boxes never load when I'm on my live stream, but you'll be able to see them. They're Google Slides that you can open, and they have the entries that we've read and pictures that go with them and newspaper articles if we have them, stuff like that. So that's all on there. Oh, nice. I also do record all of my live streams and they go on my YouTube, but okay, hectare, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Hector the horse is metric. 2 cows per hectare, 1 cow per acre. I do put all of my live streams on my YouTube, but those are hours long, so if you really do want to like catch up fast, I guess the best way would be to read them. We're in the 1903 Diaries. We're reading 2 at once because we have both Ralph's and Georgia's, but usually we're only reading 1 at a time. We just so happen to have 2 of this special year where they get married, so it's pretty cool. Found another person on here who has his grandparents' love letters from the war. Oh, that's so sweet. December 14th. Got up at 7:30. Helped with dishes and other work. Cleaned storm windows. And helped put them up. A little late. It was negative 16 degrees the night before. Went downtown. Helped with supper and dishes. Went downtown with Miss Foot. Oh, I think I put Fort last time, but it definitely looks like Foot. Oh, when was that? That was a while ago. Foot. Okay. Read a while. Took a bath and went to bed at 10:15. Ralph. Got up at 7. Went to breakfast. Came back and worked on bridge till 3. Went to AIT. Stayed till 5. Wrote letter to Georgia. And after supper, studied and worked on my bridge. Thank you for the gift, Rui, R-U-I. Not yet. They get married. Yes, they get married not on Christmas Day. I was wrong. I've been saying that, but it's the 23rd. It's the day before Christmas Eve. Okay. Georgia. But still, it's basically at Christmas. It's cute. December 15th. Christmas Eve, yes. Got up at 7:15. Helped with dishes and then with the washing. Helped get dinner and do dishes. Went downtown. Worked on sewing, etc. etc. Can't imagine wearing a wedding dress in the winter weather up there. Hopefully an indoor ceremony. Yes, they got married at her house, I think. Helped with supper and dishes. We'll read the article when they do get married. There is an article that tells us all of the details, and it actually tells us like all about her dress too, which is cute. Worked on handkerchief, went to bed at 10. Ralph, I don't know, maybe we'll get there today. We're kind of powering through. Oh, 15th. Did I do hers? Yeah, okay, 15th. I know, if only there was a picture. Got up at 7, went to breakfast, then came back, shaved, and went to AIT. Last recitation in surveying. Came back and studied on bridge till 2 and went to AIT. They got married in her house, but a reverend married them. One of her friends. It says it was a friend of the bride. The way I wish I had Georgia's organized sleep schedule. Yeah, same. Every day I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed early, and then it doesn't happen. Came back, wait, let me figure out where I was. Came back at 3 and worked on bridge and studied, also wrote letter to Georgia. Went to supper and studied till 10. Okay. Georgia, December 16th. Got up at 7:20. There's not enough hours in the day. That's the problem, right, Amy? Because you don't want to go to bed early because you get home from work. You don't want to, I don't, like, at least for me, I get home from work and I don't want my day to be over. Helped dishes and other work. Usually she says helped with dishes. Helped dishes and other work, ironed a while, helped with dinner and dishes. Hitched up, went up to Grandpa's, over the river, and home. Helped with supper and dishes. Took Hector up to Grandpa's. Took Hector up to Grandpa's and left him. As Newt's horse was so sick. I don't know who Newt is, but I know that her last name is Newton. So, probably a nickname for a relative. Went to bed at 10. And her horse is Hector. Fall asleep so fast. I want every day to be over. I do fall asleep fast. Once I'm in bed, I'm like exhausted. And once I actually lay down and put my phone down, I'm out in like 2 minutes. But I just force myself to stay up because I'm like, I want to have some fun. I get home, I do chores, and I don't even have kids yet. That's going to be like no time anymore at all. Worked on bridge. Till 2. Gave exam in steam engine and got back at 4. And corrected papers and wrote to Georgia. After supper, worked on the bridge. Georgia, 17th. I feel like we have to read their wedding entry now. I don't know, or what do you guys think? Should we wait and like start off next week with it? Or are we gonna try to like power through? I don't know. Well, so Amy asked a good question. Were they not seeing each other in person leading up to the wedding date? When he was in college, which wasn't long ago, he just graduated, they would see each other every weekend. And now it's like, I think he's only visited once or twice since he's went to Chicago to work. She's in Waterloo, Iowa, and he's in Chicago. Okay. Carly says we should wait. I feel like it maybe wouldn't be fair to people who aren't here, though, to not give them the heads up if we read the wedding entry. So maybe we get all the way up to it, and then that'll be like the big kickoff next week. And then I can make a video about it and try to let people know, because I did do a bad job this week of letting people know when the live was, so I would feel bad if we read it and then people said, oh, I didn't know, because I switched the time and then I switched it back. So I think if people had signed up for the like notification, it didn't tell them. Yes, and they write to each other like every day. It's so cute. December 17th. Got up at 7. Helped with dishes and other work. Helped with dinner and dishes. Went downtown. Helped all afternoon at sewing. Yeah, you know what? I am going to wait till next week because I can also, like, pre-read that article, which we've all read it before, but it was a long time ago. And I can pick out, because it talks about, like, her flowers and what her dress looked like, and I can find some pictures to help us, like, visualize that. I think that would be cool. So I can prepare for that before I go and read it. Because I want it to be special. And if anyone has any other ideas of how we could make it extra special, let me know. Helped all afternoon at sewing. Helped with supper. Yeah, I love a good visual, Carly. And dishes. Went with Papa and Mama. I know, I wish I could find their wedding photo, but I could find a few from the time period that maybe are similar looking. Maybe we can Photoshop Ralph's head onto one of them. That would be funny. Went with Papa and Mama to Mason Hall to Star meeting. I wish we had even a picture of her mom, because then we could get some kind of sense of what she might have looked like. I love how newspapers were so descriptive of weddings, what everyone was wearing in the venue. Yes, and all their flowers and the music. It does help to really, like, make you feel like you're there. It is cool. And there is a detailed article for them, so that's good. December 17th, Ralph. Carly says, I think because they didn't have kids, there's probably a lot of memories lost. Yes, I agree, and it's so sad, but that makes sense. Got up at 7, worked on bridge till 2, went downtown and took specifications to stenographer. Went through the fair store, and I think he's saying bought, like B-O-T, bought some Christmas presents. Because before it looked like he said that with a B, but I thought it was got, so I put got. But it does look like bought. I'm just gonna leave it got. I don't know. What should I do? Because he wrote got here, and it's not the same thing. Got back at 5. After supper, Eddie came up. No, we don't know why they didn't have kids. Eddie came up and went. And I went over and stayed all night with him. Wrote letter to Georgia. Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Deb said, I wish whoever had the other diaries would somehow come across this page. That would be so cool. Why did papers report weddings? It's some random people, I guess. But back then, newspaper was the only way to share anything, any changes in people's lives. And I think the people in the town were a lot more, like, aware of each other, and, like, that's how you share it. Now we have Facebook, where we post a picture of our wedding, but this is, like, the newspaper, the Waterloo Daily Courier is the Facebook of the time. Wrote letter to Georgia. The newspapers were, like, really nosy, too. Not only just the weddings, because those are all, of course, nice articles about people getting married and their beautiful dresses and whatever, and happy, happy, happy. But then they're, like, they talk a lot of smack in the newspapers back then. They'll, like, write if people are sick, too. Like, they have a sick list, and if someone's been, like, sick at home for a couple of weeks, they'll, like, bring it up and say, it doesn't look too good. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, would they have applied to have an article written about them? That's a great question, actually, because I never really thought about the fact that a reporter would probably have to be there. She was, like, her dad was pretty prominent in the town. He was the city engineer. So maybe it's like if you're in higher society. I mean, I don't think they're, like, filthy rich, but if they're a little bit on the upper crust, maybe they would go and cover those weddings? I don't know. A newspaper, Amy said, a newspaper reported my great-grandma giving her neighbor a good old slap over the fence. I love that for her. Oh, that's amazing. The sick list makes sense since people would show up unannounced. Yes, actually, that's true, Maria. I never thought about it like that. That you wouldn't want people to, like, go to the house if the person has tuberculosis. Did we look for pictures of her dad and the city stuff? Maybe she would be in. We've looked for pictures of her dad, but not with that intention. So I wonder if maybe we should look a little bit more. Because I haven't really dug, because we found a couple of them, but that's a good point. People paid for weddings and birth announcements. Yes. But this is like a full-on article. All the gossip was in the papers. And my great-grandma was strong-willed. I love your great-grandma. A good old slap over the fence. I was telling, and someone in here just said, I forget who it was, but they said they also give out the addresses, which is so true. A few weeks ago, I was telling everyone on the live that through my, like, family history journey, I found an article when my grandfather from Portugal came here with all of his brothers. And it was hilarious. Well, first of all, the article was, like, a picture of the 3 boys with books. They're holding books up. Like, they can't read the books. They're just holding them up and smiling. And the title of it is Everything is Okay with the Katerina boys. Like, cause, and then in the article it was saying, like, the only thing they know how to say is okay. So they just kept saying it. It was so funny. In the article, too, like, they were using it as a little comedic, it was so cute. And then, too, like, they like, put their full addresses in there. And then also, there was just some, like, other boy in class who was helping them. And they put his address, too. Straight roast. In the picture, they're like, it's so funny. Everything is okay. And I'll have to find it, because at the end of the article, like, the last sentence is like, I don't remember, but, like, they asked them a question and they answered, okay. Perhaps we could give specific details about wedding in everyone's search until next week. Yeah, we could. I might even, maybe I'll task my diary detectives with that. We can put the article in and we can all find, like, make a mood board for the wedding. Wrote letter, where was I? Wrote letter. Oh, down here must be. Yep, before supper. Okay. Georgia, December 18th. We're getting there. Got up at 7:30. Carly said, I search every week. Admittedly, I think about this couple randomly throughout the day. I love that. I do too. It is funny, these people, we don't actually know them, but it feels like you know them, right? I'm glad other people feel the same way, or understand. Because I felt really weird. I was, like, really into the 1917 diary, and that's what started this whole thing, is I got obsessed with it. Like, typing out every page, finding the people. There were so many pictures and articles to sift through with that one, because she was in Brooklyn in 1917. She was, like, high society. So everything she did was documented in the newspaper, and I would find pictures of all her friends, and I was so obsessed with it. I'm like, I am weird. Like, this is strange. But it is a strange thing to be, like, fixated on, but I know I'm not alone now, so that's nice. I just love when I'll bring something up, or, like, something comes up in the diary when we're typing it out, and people, like, remember, oh, that happened before, or that person again. Like, it's so, it's just funny. It's just funny that now we all know the history of these 2 random people from 1903, and they're, like, our friends. Not strange, just niche, Carly said. True. And Deb said, I'm so glad you got obsessed. Helped with dishes and other room. Cleaned the cupboard. Helped with dinner and dishes. we went up to Grandma's and town. Something Tide. I don't know if that says, hold on, let me look in, do I have the actual diary up here? No, I don't. It's upstairs. I don't know what that actually says. It might say town, but it might say something else too. I'll just put town. Amy said, it's such a cool thing and never ending. There's always more. Yes, very true. Even if you read through the same diary multiple times, like, I feel like I could read that 1917 one 1,000 times. Oh, yes, thank you. It's and went downtown. She wrote it on the second line. I could read it over and over again, and every single time I would think something else or find something else or connect two pieces together. I feel like I'm due to go through the whole thing again. I haven't finished sharing every entry with you guys on TikTok yet. I'm in like November. But I feel like I want to start over. And maybe the problem is I just like don't have a ton of time. I always want to do all these things and then I never end up doing them. But I would like to do longer form videos on YouTube, like really diving into it, like a week at a time of entries or something instead of just day to day. Because it's hard to connect back on those short videos where you're just talking about one day. It's hard to like get a bigger picture. Like there was one time I spent hours, and this is my idea of a fun time. I read through this entry. It was a couple of entries where Anglesey, who was in the 1917 diary, she wrote it. She was in Maine for her sister's honeymoon. They went to go visit them. And she went hiking. So she was in Bar Harbor, Maine, which I was excited about because I've been there quite a few times. So I knew some of the places she was talking about, and I thought that was really cool. So I ended up finding the actual cottage where they stayed because she put a picture inside the diary. And then, I don't know, she must have said the street or something. So I went on Google Earth and I found it. It's still there. So I found the house. So I knew where the house was. Then she's talking about how she went hiking. And she didn't say the mountain's name, but she described how she got there. And the description was like, oh, we walked down the street and then we walked through a huge field and cemetery. And we found the stone steps up to the mountain. And I spent hours looking at the maps, at the old maps too, because I didn't want to get caught up with what's there now, because obviously it's so different. And figuring out like I forget if she gave a distance or a time amount that they walked, but I'm like, which cemetery around her would fit that description? And which cemetery, if she walked through it, would get her to the bottom of a mountain where she could then climb up. And I ended up finding the cemetery. At the cemetery, there's a like an opening to climb up the mountain, and it's not there anymore, but there are on the mountain, I forget which mountain it was, but on the mountain there are these stone steps that she talks about climbing up, like thousands of stone steps, and it's no longer the actual trail that's there now, but those steps are hidden inside the woods. Like you can go find them if you go off the trail. They're still there. So I ended up figuring out which mountain she went up just by like putting those pieces together. It was so fun, guys. And it was like me on my computer by myself for hours, but it's so rewarding. I don't even remember where that tangent started, but I should go find that video. Well, if you already do day-to-day, maybe 1 week summary and then monthly too. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know where that video, it's buried on my TikTok somewhere, but our relatives always making us work extra hard to get the answers, but like you said, it's fun, yes. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna go to the 22nd. We went up to Grandma's and went downtown. Helped with supper and dishes. Oh no, tied a lounge spread. Helped with, oh, hold on. We went up to Grandma's and tied a lounge spread. That's like tying a quilt. Helped, and then went downtown. helped with supper and dishes. I will answer that question in 1 second. Helped with supper and dishes, wrote a couple letters, went to bed at 10. So, what websites do you use for research? I use pretty much everything that I can find on the internet, but my main go-tos are Ancestry, which is a paid subscription, newspapers.com, which is also a paid thing. It stinks because it really does add up. They're expensive, but for what I use them for, it's worth it because I use them so much. A couple of free ones are familysearch.com and Find a Grave, which I can pull up. I use Find a Grave all the time. So Find a Grave is a database where people will upload pictures of gravestones and information, like here's Ralph, and information about where they're buried, where they lived, who their siblings were, if they have graves that are linked. And sometimes we'll find articles and, oh, this is new. Articles, pictures, things like that on Find a Grave that aren't in other places. This is Ralph's obituary, one of them. I don't think we've read this one. Widely known civic leader and former mayor here died Wednesday morning. He was taken to the hospital. Oh, I didn't know he had a heart attack. He served 5 terms as mayor from 1936 to 1946, and before that had served 3 terms as city engineer and 2.5 years as streets commissioner. He was also official weather observer here for 40 years. Born and reared in Rhinebeck, he received his civil engineer degree from Cornell College. Yep. Oh, that's interesting. In 1905. Either that's wrong or he went back to school, because he graduated in 1903, but maybe he went back. He taught civil engineering at the Armor Institute in Chicago. Yep, that's where he is right now. December 18th. He formed his own school. Did I miss that? I X'd it out before. Where is it? Where is that? Oh, what the heck? The Ralph B. Slippy Engineering Institute? I didn't know that. The Ralph B. Slippy Engineering Institute. Oh, maybe it's not a school. Maybe it's a an engineering firm. I think that might be it. That's cool though. I'm gonna keep going. We're on Ralph right now, or... Yep. Ralph. Yes. Oh, yes, it is newsworthy. Definitely. Definitely. Got up at 8. And we can look into it a little bit more, too, now. Maybe there's some, even, paperwork on Ancestry or something. Worked on bridge till 2. Went downtown and... Also, hold on. This, the Tribune Iowa News Service. If we haven't seen this article, then it's probably from a different newspaper. It must be the Chicago Tribune? I don't know. We should look into that because maybe there are more articles about him and maybe her in that newspaper. Went downtown and got blueprints and specifications, also wedding announcements, and got back at 5. Fixed up bid for plans and mailed it after supper. Parked up my packed up my trunk. And went to bed. Got up at 7:15. Helped with dishes. Done sweeping and other work. Helped with dinner and dishes. Helped with supper and dishes. Went downtown and to market to see Myrtle a while. Read a while. Laid down on lounge. Slept a while and waited for Ralph as he came home at 1:30. Or he came at 1:30. Okay, so Ralph is coming to visit. Oh, well, he's not coming to visit. He's coming to get married. What am I talking about? He's not just visiting. Went to bed at 2 o'clock. I can't believe we're almost right there. Only a couple of days. I'm like, oh, he's coming for the weekend. No, he's not. Georgia sat up and waited for me. I would too if I was waiting for my groom. I feel so bad that he's like so upset right now. Georgia sat up and waited for me. Georgia sat up and waited for me. Got up at 7. Finished packing up and studied till 10:30. Gave exam in surveying 10:30 to 12:30. Also had talk with the dean. Guns smokes. Gee, okay, sounds good. I'm like feeling so lazy right now and I totally could look for that in the yearbook. But I don't want to. In consideration of guarantee of salary. I don't know if that says consideration. Till February 1st. And assistance in obtaining another position. I resigned. So sad. My position as instructor in civil engineering. Oh my god, he is literally... Oh, maybe it's confirmation? I don't think it's an F because it doesn't dip below. He is going through it right now, like the bottom of the pits to the top, like just losing his job, resigning, but not really resigning as a choice, resigning because he had to, and then getting married like 2 days later. His life is literally about to just flip, I guess would be a better word than flop. But that's what Nancy said when she was reading his handwriting. That is crazy because I didn't know. I knew they were just about to get married. And I knew that he was feeling a little bit down about his job. But I didn't know because I don't read through entries before we come on here. So I didn't know he ended up resigning right before he got married. She was spot on. She was even more spot on than I thought. Yeah, that was so cool. I hope she comes back, and I'm definitely going to invite her to our next meeting. Okay. Corrected papers till 4. And made out grades. Took them to Professor Phillips. Went to IC, that's the railroad. Might be 2 o'clock. I don't know what that is actually. It can't be 2 o'clock. 12? Because till 4 he was correcting papers, so it can't be 2. Oh, 12th Street. Depot. And bought. He wrote it again. Bought ticket. That's cute. Also went to... Oh, thanks, Nikki. I'll open it up in a second. Also went to... Went and... ordered flowers. And took IC train at 6:10 for Waterloo. To see his soon-to-be bride. Okay. Did I write that? Went and ordered. Alright, we are on Georgia, December 20th. Maybe we'll stop at this one. Got up at 8:40. Helped with dishes. Visited nearly all day with Ralph. Yeah, sorry if it was loud. The alarm is TikTok thinking I'm not, like, here. Because the way I stream is I do, like, this whole thing is a projection from another streaming service, so it thinks I'm just not here. Unless I move things around like that, but I forget to do it. And it always, like, startles me, too. It must be loud for you guys. Visited nearly all day with Ralph. We all went up to Grandpa's. In PM, sang and played. Went to PO, went to bed at 10. Lovely day. Ralph, December 20th. Georgia sat up and waited for me. I know, Maria said, it's funny that she still calls it visiting when they're about to be married. It is funny. Got to Waterloo at 1:30 a.m. Went to bed and got up at 9. Spent day in talking over and planning for the wedding. Imagine planning your wedding like 2 days before. It's so different now. Went up to Berries in the afternoon. Went to bed at 11. Ooh, okay. My brain's about shutting down, so I think we will stop there, and then we have a little bit of a buffer. So like next week we have 2 days to read through before the wedding so that people will have time to come in, because I feel like in the very beginning not everyone gets here right at 6. So next week will be Ralph and Georgia's wedding.